Hello and welcome to this video on how to spend 48 hours in Tokyo. First time ideas, hints and tips. This off the back of a honeymoon that my wife and I just took to Tokyo, and then we got the bullet train to Osaka, and we went to Bali after that and came back. But we had such a fantastic time in Tokyo and Osaka that we wanted to share some of the things that we'd found when we researched before we got there and whilst we were there, and share them with anyone who might be looking to visit in the near future. So I hope you enjoy. So the first things to think about are the stuff before you even get there, and that's your money, phone SIM cards, Wi-Fi, making bookings and reservations, and what kind of apps. So Japan's a very cash-based society. You're going to need to carry a lot of it with you, but it's not commonly held in the UK, so you need to give it an extra couple of days to get your cash here. Equally, you get a better rate when you're out there, so if you can survive until you're all the way out there and then get yourself to a 7-Eleven using whichever card works best for you, MasterCard or Visa for the fees, you'll then get your money out there. If you can't, you can also just withdraw in the airport when you arrive, which I'll show you in a second. For your phone, you can basically order SIM cards online before you go out, and so you can pick those up at the airport, or like us, we ordered one and had it delivered to our hotel, and that was like £25 for a week with virtually unlimited data, which is much cheaper than the roaming charges whilst you're out there. I think it would have been about £8 a day for hardly any megabytes if we just used the normal roaming, so super simple and easy to do. So this is arriving into Tokyo. You can come down here if you haven't got any money yet. You literally just pop around the corner, use one of their money exchanges and just get some cash out to keep you going until you can get to a 7-Eleven. And this is where you can also pick up your SIM card and some portable Wi-Fi if you've chosen to do that instead. Looking at bookings, it's weird. Sometimes you can actually find what you want, where you want to go, like Universal Studios online, but then you can't actually pay for anything because they don't like the cards. So if you come up against that or you want to book something in advance, try this website called Klook. The only downside is sometimes you can't select specific timings. They'll just kind of give you one and you have to accept it, but a really good way about of booking certain things in advance and getting them paid for, so check them out. The final thing is what kind of apps you're going to use. So here's a few that I downloaded. Really, we just ended up using Google Maps for our transport, double checking it against the Japan travel one, and using Google Translate as we went. Spoiler alert, we tried the McDonald's in Japan and it wasn't anything to write home about. It was nothing really crazy. So here you can see Tokyo and you can see our hotel in the middle. Now we flew into the more central airport. There are two, so the one you want to land in if possible is Haneda Airport, because then you're straight in, you don't have a massive commute. And we basically decided to then split our trip into the west side on day one and then the east side on day two. So you can see day one is basically going down to Shibuya Scramble, the one you see in all the movies, up through Miyashita like shopping park, up to Takeshita Street, which is kind of like a lively street, and then up into Yokocho Alley, which is like a lively after work kind of drinking and bar, kind of tucked away scene. And then we'll talk about day two in a minute. So I've kept this clip in. This is like day one and we're laughing our heads off because it's just so blinding out there. So take a note of when you're going. It's like mid-30s all the time for us, and obviously like take the right clothing with you. We were just having to stay hydrated all the time, find aircon and that kind of thing. So this is heading out day one. Now you hear a lot about the JR Pass before you go out, the Japanese Rail Pass. That's great if you're travelling the whole country. I think they're putting the price up to like 3,000 yen, which is about 170 quid for a week. But if you're just going to Tokyo, you don't need that. It'd be a total waste of money. What you want is just get yourself a Metro Pass. Costs about a few pounds a day. Super easy to use with the apps, and as you can see here, a lot of the signage is also in English. So super easy just to get around Tokyo just using the Metro system. So here we've made our way down, we've got down to Scramble Square. A little bit underwhelming during the day, when you see all the photos and it's swarming with people, it's all lit up. Actually it was, this is kind of early in the day, during the week, and it was quite quiet. But a good place just to start off our trip and start experiencing some of those unusual things out and about. For example, this clip's popping into one of the toy capsules shops. They love their accessories, they love toys. If you're a souvenir person like me, you like toys and games, this was like, I was getting a Back to the Future item here out of the machine. You see the smile on my face, just really enjoying stuff like that. Starting to experience the food, so this was just because it was so hot. This is some shaved ice with some matcha tea flavouring on the top, just to try and cool down, and just go to some of these like these street food places. Also, if you haven't already, you're going to start to experience the toilets that you hear. It's almost like an online meme about using these toilets. Yeah, there's a load of buttons on them, kind of a front and rear bidet, heated for some of them, pressures for some of them, and it's some noise as well, if you want to be polite, if you're making a lot of noise. It's not as complicated, it's a little bit like the 3 seashells in the Demolition Man, but you'll get used to them pretty soon. But yeah, cool to see. Some of the stuff you'll start to come across is a lot of the food is kind of displayed outside in plastic, so you kind of know what you're going to eat, and it enables you to just kind of point at them. But actually a lot of the menus are also in English with pictures as well, so don't be worried about kind of choosing what you want to eat out there. Another thing, you'll find vending machines everywhere, alcohol, water, food, drinks. So especially for us, it was crazy hot. We'd just be grabbing water or an iced coffee or something as we could go along, all reasonably priced, all nice and cold. Yeah, just come out and great to use. So then we made our way up. I've ignored the shopping centre. We came up to this street, Takashita Street, if you're I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Just a lively street full of like souvenirs, bar, like little coffee shops, cafes, all that kind of stuff. A little bit like Carnaby Street, I would suggest, in London. You'll see a few more tourists around here. A lot of my other footage, you'll just see Japanese people, but yeah, it's that area that brings together that little bit of a subculture and lively stuff. Whilst I was here, this was my first chance to try the Japanese balls. They're like a really creamy, doughy thing with the topping on top, with some octopus in the middle, and also went hunting for crazy souvenirs. So this was a giant shrimp tail that made its way all the way back in the suitcase and now proudly sits on my sofa in the man cave, obviously called Shrimpy these days. And down the street, lots of these cafes, so like furry cafes, otter cafes, lots of themed cafes out there. So we went to this one, Pom Purin Cafe. He's a character from Hello Kitty. You go in, everything's themed. They like ring bells, sing songs when you come in. It's just funny. So we went and tried this one. You can see this ridiculous photo here. God, what is that on my head? But yeah, it's just a laugh. You got to take it all with it. With a smile on your face, and it's great. We then made our way up to Yokocho alleyway. This is the main bit, but actually as soon as you get off just round the corner, that's where it becomes really cool. And it's just a little alleyway with loads of little it's like after work vibe, loads of little eateries, like street food, people finishing work, coming out. But this just has such an incredible old school Japanese vibe about it. So really this area and one of the temples we went to was more of the old school Japan. A lot of the majority that we kind of found was the more modern Japan, and so we want to go back and experience a little bit more of this. But you can see this alleyway is really cool. I'd definitely recommend going there to grab something to eat or something to drink. And what you'll see coming up in a second is first experience having some sake, which is often drunk more of like an aperitif before you eat. You can have sake hot or cold, but they have this really lovely tradition, which is like where they pour it as a sign of kind of hospitality or thanks, is they over pour it into the dish. I enjoyed mine cold, so this is cold. It'll either come in like a metal dish or a wooden dish. It'll overflow, and no real rules about it. I drank it on the dish at the overflow. We happened to stumble into this area, the Kabukicho area, Godzilla Road. There's Godzilla at the top, which during the day is like just kind of a coffee type touristy area, but after hours it becomes very much like an adult entertainment area, hostess and host cafes and all that kind of stuff. And this was like a real Blade Runner moment when the night's falling, all the illuminations are coming on, as you can see in this kind of image. That was just like a real nice way to end the day, with that like proper vibe of Japan that you imagine before you go there. So day 2, we then were going to go and do, that's incorrect, the shrine, but up to Sensoji, then going into Akihabara Electric Town. The plan was then to come down and do the outer food market, and then another alley, Yakitori Alley. I made the mistake that the market actually closed at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so we should have routed around the other way. We should have done the market in the morning and then worked our way up. I was trying to do a bit of a loop, so unfortunately missed that. We also decided not to do the Team Lab Planet Art installation. So out in the morning, and again just a very quick snapshot here just to show you how easy it is to use the metro, everything in English. Yeah, dead easy to navigate around. And arriving here at the Sensoji Temple. It's not a shrine, and I'll talk about religion at the end, but you have the 2 different religions out there, Shinto and Buddhism. Real long drag here, full of like stalls of food and souvenirs and stuff as you work your way down towards the temple. So this is just arriving at the temple entrance. So it's a Buddhist temple, this, and in a second you'll just see some a small amount of footage as you go in through the temple area here. On the left hand side it's got this thing where you can kind of you shake it, a stick will come out, and you almost get like a fortune out of a drawer of whatever it comes out. As you can see, going through here, temple down at the far end, and then what you have at the far right is like a place to wash your hands, rinse your mouth before you go into the temple, kind of as a sign of respect and cleanliness before you go in. Looking around the area here, so you can see people doing those things on the left. Inside, here's the temple, where again you can put in an offering and things like that. And then they did this quite cool thing where you could buy these blessings for different things, be it education or business success, or warding off evil spirits and stuff like that. And we got a couple for us, as you can see here, and a couple for some friends. Just thought that was quite a nice thing to bring home, that Buddhism side of Japan. Now, whilst I was here, we just went and found one to tick off for me was getting some noodles, some ramen. Really nice place around there. Got some beer with it. What I found was the food was really reasonably priced out there. We ended up probably spending less than we thought we were going to in Japan. The food absolutely gorgeous, flavoursome, just really, really nice. From here to the Akihabara district, also known as Electric Town. All of that kind of neon vibe, that everything's just jam-packed with stuff. That Geico signage is the one that you see. It has Sega on when you do a lot of Google searching. Fortunately, it doesn't have the Sega on anymore, but just loads of like places full of gaming. So this is just one building, and as you can see, it's got a basement and then 7 floors just of claw games or different games, and they're all in there doing like the drumming games and stuff like that. They really enjoy it. I was also out there. I love my retro gaming. This is one store. You can see it's just got everything from all your retro consoles, and then there's another one, I think it was called Cool Potato. Go in there again, there's like 4 floors of different types of things. Here's just one of the floors. Apparently in the past you could get some really good deals. The prices have gone up a little bit, but just really nice to stroll through, maybe grab yourself a game, cheap game, whatever to bring home with you as a bit of a memento. But yeah, really nice. I scored myself this awesome 1988 Super Mario Bros. 3 lunchbox, which I loved with the Japanese on. That's now on my shelf. Whilst we were there, we tried another cafe, so we tried a maid cafe that we'd heard all about. It's just another cafe in a different theme, just like the animal ones are. The waitresses are kind of dressed up like maids. They refer to the women as mistresses and the guys as masters, and it's just essentially a load of really sickly food, and you're like singing songs and doing all these hand gestures and pouring the love into your food and that kind of thing. It was a fun experience, something good to do, but I think we preferred the animal ones a little bit more than the maid cafe. This wasn't too much to it. There's some silly head. We've got photos and things. And then a similar kind of after work, Yakitori Alley. Went there. That's your after work vibe, where you'll go and have something to eat, something to drink. And again, it's got that. This was under a train line, and it's just one of those areas that's kind of tucked away, and it's just nice to go and do something like this rather than the main stuff. And whilst I was there, I tried pufferfin sake, and it was absolutely horrendous. I could eat and drink a lot, and I just could not drink, and it came warm, which didn't help. So yeah, horrible. And that basically concluded our second day, jam-packed. Just we were constantly on the go, seeing loads of stuff, but it was absolutely great. Now I'm going to just do some bonus footage here. It was a short I did on Instagram. Couldn't bring across the audio, so I'm just going to fill in the gaps with some like hints and tips here and some bonus stuff. So 12 must-know things before you visit Japan. So yeah, you got the plastic food displays to help you choose. You also have lots of images to point, and most menus are in English as well. Work out how to use the toilets when you arrive, but they're not overly complex. But yeah, fun. You can just use the basic way. Don't walk and eat, it's rude. They don't like litter, crumbs, etc. So stand where you are, and then put your rubbish back in the bin when you're done. Be quiet on the metro, don't take phone calls, don't talk loudly, put the bag on your front. If it's busy, stop yourself bumping into people. Vending machines everywhere, which is really handy, just to kind of stay hydrated on the go, or caffeine hit. Slurp your noodles, it's a sign of enjoyment, it's not seen as being rude when you're out there. Understand the difference between the two major religions. Shintos will have kind of archways, and it's more about spirits and things, and Buddhism is the other side. Look up. There's lots of floors, lots of things. It's not all on ground level, so make sure you look up so you don't miss out on things. Embrace politeness and bowing. It's a very polite culture, so yeah, embrace that. Pass things with both your hands. If you're passing over passports or documents, use both hands when passing them over, a little bit of ceremony. Make sure there's not many bins, so make sure you carry your rubbish around, or if you eat at a convenience store, you'll pop back in and bin it. And make sure you've got plenty of cash on you. Mainly just use your 7-Elevens to top up. It's a safe culture, so it's safe, so don't worry about things. And that's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed just dipping your toe into it. If you like things like retro gaming, be sure to check out my normal content where I restore gaming stuff, retro stuff, 80s, 90s, and do reviews and demos of them. So go and check that out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until the next one, all the best, take care, and see ya.